It wasn't on two-sided for a sec.
Is this right? Shouldn't that be playback level 100?
I'm not sure playback level matters.
Okay. Recording levels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why, hello.
Hey there.
So we missed a week.
Yeah, we were a little sick.
Yep. I was a lot sick.
You were a lot sick.
You were holding down the fort last week.
Yeah, luckily I don't get sick.
Yeah, you were very lucky in that way. Your body just always handles things well.
I got it all out of my system from like age 5 to age 17.
You had everything.
I had everything. It was enough.
Yeah, so I didn't even make it to Mass, nor did Rosalina last weekend. So whatever Jonathan had, I suspect it was 2 viruses that he had, because I seem to have had one that was super mild, like earlier 2 weeks ago, and then I got hit with the second one, which was not as mild. I mean, it was a cold, but woofda, my sinuses just got super swollen, and makes it hard to do anything when your face is just bloated.
Well, and then you can't have anything really.
Yeah.
Except for like weird baby medicine that doesn't really work for an adult.
I mean, it's better than that first trimester when I was sick. You really can't have anything in the first trimester, but I could have a little bit. So I had some Tylenol cold and sinus. So that helped a little bit. But yeah, it was a long weekend.
Yeah.
I think we just need to take this weekend off. I don't think we did anything last weekend.
Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. It's all a blur right now. I can't keep up.
Yeah, so I feel like we're still a little bit behind on laundry because I watched the Jim Gaffigan show for a little while, and I think the very first, like the pilot episode, the wife makes a comment that like if she doesn't do 5 loads of laundry a day, that like she'll be behind forever. And that's kind of how I feel sometimes, although we're now just perpetually, chronically behind in laundry. Everyone has clean underwear.
Yeah. Well, I did learn that I have to replace the bearing on the washer because that's way cheaper than getting a new washer, because washers are like double the price of when we bought ours last.
Yeah. I mean, it was 10 years. I feel like a washer should last more than 10 years because we got it when we got the house, didn't we? We
did, but and it's not like it's broke. It's just the bearing is going. It's in process.
What's the bearing?
So because it's a front load washer, the motor and the spindle that make it spin in the back side of the basket is constantly under pressure, right? So when every time a load is in there and it becomes off balance or pushes everything around, it's wobbling the bearing. And it's always, kind of pushing itself down just due to gravity. So over time, that bearing just finally loses its zest and starts to wane down. That's when you hear the front load washer kind of make this wobble, 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 or dunka, dunka, dunka sound on itself. And so in order to get that part, I had to order it online because I called the local appliance warehouse because they're the only ones that still actually you can buy a part from for a washer or dryer. And they said, yeah, for now. They said, well, we can't sell you the bearing, but we can sell you the entire tub assembly. I'm like, well, how much is that? $600. Yeah, no, I'm not going to buy a whole tub assembly, but to buy a new washer these days, the same size and scale and quality that we got the last time, about $1,800.
Ugh.
I'm like,
that's like at least double what we paid.
Triple.
I was going to say, it's like we could not have paid
that
much.
We got a scratch and dent unit.
Yeah.
And it was like $600. But it was the heavy duty, largest load capacity you could get, the 5.5 whatever, cubic something or others.
Yeah, it has to be more than gallons.
Yeah.
So it's more than 5.5 gallons.
It's more than 5.5 gallons. But it's huge. It's a big basket space.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't going to pay that. My time is probably worth more than that, but I can't do it. I figured, okay, this is just a great opportunity for me to take the boys and say, hey, we're going to tear apart this thing you've stared at and poked and prodded so many times all the way down and put it all the way back together.
Does this have to do with with your father-in-law making a comment about how he is like our on-call washing machine repairman?
No.
Okay, it was just a coincidence.
Did he?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
It was like within the last couple weeks.
Oh.
So if you want, you can make it like a 3-generation project.
We might get something done.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So my dad was second draft for Vietnam. The first draft people, they all got interviews and stuff. Second draft, you're just drafted. And thank God, my grandfather, my granddaddy, he was able to pull some strings and get my dad into the National Guard, because otherwise I would not exist. There's no way that my father would have survived Vietnam.
I don't think so.
Nope.
Your father's vision is he would have at that time had Coke bottles for glasses, and I'm not sure that would have worked too well on
Maybe
the front
that
line.
helped to get him off the army list.
I think it did.
And I mean, my dad is just a gentle soul. Like there's just he is not a killing instinct kind of guy.
No.
So anyway, he was in the National Guard, and apparently that was his duty, was doing the repair and maintenance of the washing machine units.
Maytag units.
Maytag units.
Yeah, if I remember right. I believe he said they were Maytag units.
Well, so you could
Maybe
get
they
him
were
involved.
Sears. I don't remember. But yeah, I could, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a lot different than what he worked on.
A lot, I'm sure. Very, very different.
I mean,
they didn't have front loaders back then.
They didn't. Well, they did, but they were industrial. And I mean, in all honesty, they're not that different. It's just the parts are in different locations. But the bearing assembly on a front load is, in my opinion, a much better process to replace than the tub one.
The top loader?
Yeah, I replaced the top ones, and they suck. They're just awful because the water just sits, and even if you have a stainless steel one, it just rusts all together. With the top load or the front loader, it's just kind of up there and it's doing its thing, and it just wears out, and you do see some water and gunk that does get through on occasion, but it's not like rust solid like you will on a typical
There's not
top
gravitational drip happening.
Yeah, of just water sitting in the bottom of the tub all the time, which is what makes a top loader fail eventually.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Fun times.
Yeah. So we've been absent for a couple weeks. It's good to be back, and we've got some changes to report on.
Yeah. Well, I'm Dale.
I'm Kit.
Welcome to Catholic Hitch. We are a Catholic family seeking heaven and hoping to pick up others along the way.
Small talk.
Go ahead, honey.
I know. I'm letting some silence play. I don't know if anyone is hearing some chirping in the background.
Maybe. We're not outside.
We're not outside.
It's not spring.
It's
Definitely
not spring.
Not springtime.
So we have chicks in the house right now.
Yes.
Because I'm crazy and you love me anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You indulge your crazy wife.
Yes. Speaking of your father, he made a jab at me that he had talked to me about, going up into the plains and picking up some chicks. I'm like, what are you talking about? Oh, those chicks.
Yeah, he approached you after Stations of the Cross on Friday and was like, I have something very serious to say to you.
Straight
and
deadpan, too.
Yeah.
It was impressive. I was like, what did I do wrong? I'm the golden child. This is not possible.
Everyone loves Dale.
That's right. I mean, I had just got done surveying at the Stations of the Cross. What have I done wrong? I mean, were the boys picking their noses the entire time and I didn't see it?
Not the entire time.
Not the entire time. But yeah, I apparently, picking up a bunch of hot chicks.
Yep. They are super cute.
They are very cute little chickens.
Yeah, so we are trying to keep 6 different chicks alive, 3 of which are Easter eggers and 3 of which are rock Plymouths. So, yeah, they're in the house. I set up a little brooder station, and I'm probably going to put it on YouTube, how we situated it, because it's very, jerry-rigged. We have an aluminum beverage container that I got for, I believe, our 10th anniversary. There's Jonathan. So it's an aluminum beverage container. It is strapped down to the table with tiebacks, right? Is that what those things are called?
Yeah, it was one of my wedding presents. like anniversary presents.
Yes, it was a 10-year anniversary gift.
That's
for me.
right.
And then it's on top of a towel that is on top of 2 warming mats.
Go to the bathroom, Johnny.
So the idea is that we're tensioning the aluminum to make strong enough contact with the warming pads to actually create like that heat from the warming pads, because you need to put pressure on warming pads.
Yeah.
And probably a safety mechanism that they don't ignite something with, that they have to have some sort of force on them to like actually connect a circuit or whatever.
It's many years learned of hot pads and electric blankets of
People like lighting
those.
fires. Yeah, that's my assumption. So the tension kind of keeps that heat pad element working. And so it essentially creates a radiant floor for the aluminum.
Yes.
And this is our like 2-week brooder, because after 2 weeks, these chickens are going to be too big for it. But right now they're just cute little chicks, chirping away, pooping everywhere, messing up their water. They're
dumb animals. They really are dumb animals.
They're dumb dinosaurs, but they're so cute. And the radiant heat floor doesn't get them quite to the temperature they need to be at. So they need to stay at 95 degrees their first week of life, because they have no way to regulate their own heat. And since we've taken them away from their mother, we have to provide that heat. So we have a heat lamp that's nearby.
I tested the radiant heat, and it's at 102.
I know, but I tested on the inside where the chicks will be with a thermometer, and it was at 90 degrees without the heat lamp.
Well, no, I checked it with, like, up against, touching it with the meat thermometer to be, like, contact to contact to see what the metal was actually getting to, and it was at 102.
I know, and was the heat lamp on as well?
Yes, but I wasn't checking where the heat lamp would normally have given off heat.
I know, but it's metal, so it's going to conduct heat through it. So metal is really close
all
by.
My scientific
I'm just saying,
abilities.
I tested this in advance. Otherwise, I think it'd be too hot for them.
That's what I was worried about. I'm like, ooh, this is pretty toasty in here.
And now there's bedding in there, so they're not acting odd. They survived it one night at least. And we've had, niece and nephew over to see them. The kids have held them in their hands several times.
Next door neighbor child.
Next door neighbor came over to hold them or pet them or something.
He came in for a minute. He petted and then he washed his hands.
Yeah, it's like a thrill, like a very momentary thrill for visiting children, it seems, and then they just want to play some more.
Yeah.
So,
it's like, oh, a chicken. That's nice.
Yeah, Johnny came in kind of pouty right before dinner and was like, I haven't held the chickens today. And I was like, okay, amnesiac, you helped me while I was cleaning them out, and you held them for like the longest amount of time of any child in this house today.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
That's what he said. So yeah, we've got a lot of life in our house. So we're keeping 6 chicks alive. I have a bunch of seedlings started all over the place in all the windows, and I have a sourdough starter that is hopefully doing the right job.
Bacterial yeast laying around.
Trying to keep some yeast lives alive. I failed the first starter pretty epically, and this one was looking pretty good, but
which I should probably put back in the...
It's too hot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good, because I would have killed it then.
Probably. Don't put it back in the oven until the proofer says not hot anymore. But yeah, so our house is just teeming with life, including me being hugely pregnant, 37 and a half weeks.
Yep.
So almost at 38.
Baby's almost ready.
Yes. This baby is huge. So that's what we were going to talk about in the Big Talk segment. Do you have anything else to add about our house being kind of crazy right now?
Just that I've been nesting, cause
you got a crib put together.
That's what I do. Yeah, crib put together, got through a bunch of stuff, going through the laundry, getting all of the swaddlers ready to go, have baby bottles where baby bottles need to go. And rearranged all the boys' clothing drawers so that they're kind of ready to go, and there's one drawer for the baby.
Oh, good. I was worried about that. I'm like, we're gonna have to figure something out.
I'm on it.
Yep, you're taking over.
That's what I do. I get the first part, and then I just let you handle the rest.
And speaking of handling, Big Talk. All right. Yeah, this might be a quick show tonight, although we had an epically long intro.
That's okay. let's see if it actually turns into a quick show. You say that, and
it's
it
like a
tends to
jinx.
be 45 plus minutes, so I don't know.
That's true. Well, I wanted to just do like a big pregnancy check-in with how things have been, and it's partially for posterity.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting. Like, you're doing all this nesting, and we have not had a baby for 5 years, 5.5 years technically.
Tell me about it. That's why I'm nesting so much. I'm like, crap, what do I do here?
I know, and that's maybe why I'm like, well, I can't remember everything. It's going to be like starting over, but I have the confidence that it's all going to be okay.
It will be fine. It will be fine.
And we can survive Christina.
I
We
mean,
can survive anyone.
This is, just think, you didn't have to put the crib together this time.
Yeah.
Because Terrence and I could put the crib together for you.
Yeah, that was nice. That's the first time since probably you put it together in Ann Arbor.
I think I helped when we had Terrence. I'm pretty sure I helped but when we had Rosie, I don't think so. And John, no,
I think you put
between
it together
Terrence
twice
and Rosie,
it was
Ann Arbor. Did I?
Well, and here. So you put it together a lot with Christina. I'm quite certain that I did Terrence and Rosalina.
Okay. I don't remember.
I remember two
I know you
instances.
did Jonathan.
Yeah.
I did not.
No, Jonathan, did we ever take it down? I don't think we ever took it down.
No, we did.
Are you sure?
Oh, yes.
I don't think we did.
I am sure we did. We took it down.
Because that was the whole jinx of like, you took the crib down, so you got pregnant.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So you've been nesting heavily, and I've been just making a baby. So yeah, this whole being pregnant, and I'm technically advanced maternal age now, aka what they used to call geriatric pregnancy. And they don't. If you say that you're geriatric to like an OB, they like freak out and they're like, you're not geriatric. We don't use that anymore. And it's like,
whatever.
It got a bad rap.
Well, yeah, because it means something totally different.
Yeah. And so that part has been interesting. I'm like an old lady pregnancy, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
So I was on the line with Jonathan, I think.
Yeah.
It was like right before I was 35.
You were young enough, but just a little old.
Or I was 34.
Already at that point, apparently. Yeah. By medical standards, which is ridiculous because they don't know a damn thing. I swear. Like, when it comes to babies and pregnant women and how babies are made, they don't seem to understand anything.
Everything's very textbook when it comes to the medical profession.
They don't get it.
So it's all textbook solutions, and I've never been very textbooky as far as how I this journey goes. So yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna see if this baby comes when they think the baby's going to come, or not. Because they think
it won't come when they think
39 weeks, and I'm like, that baby's huge. It's ready to come out.
Yeah, so part of being advanced maternal age is you get like tons of ultrasounds, which has been actually kind of cool. So I've gotten even some 3D ultrasounds this time, which has been fun. They're not quite like what you see in the marketing material for those 3D ultrasound shops.
Of course not. But they are pretty cool.
They are pretty cool. So you actually got to see one done on Friday.
Yeah, one of the nurses was telling us about the newest technology they have out, which is 4D, which is basically, all it is they use a Doppler effect, which is all the sonogram tool does. It's a Doppler effect to create an image that's digitally processed. So the newer version of that, it scans and it does a kind of a band swath area of Doppler, and then it renders that information to create a 3D image of the baby.
It models your child.
Yeah, it models your child. That's what you see. The latest is supposed to basically take that same process, but then render the entire baby in whole. We'll see if that's true. It sounds a little bit too far-fetched, but who knows? It's plausible. I mean, we laser scan buildings all the time. It's not much different. It's just a Doppler. It's bouncing off data to create a point, and then you take the points, put them together, and create an image.
And they're modeling dead people in movies. So they have the ability to model like a human being. That's been done for years and years. Like, think about the last Star Wars. And it wasn't perfect.
Sorry, my brain was like, wait.
Modeling dead people?
We've been rendering zombies for years. What am I missing here?
In TV and movies.
Yeah, you mean literal people who have passed on in reality. I got it now.
Yes, so I think, they could pull off a 3D model of an infant with like a certain amount of data points.
That's right.
You know,
Probably.
I'm sure that there's a how many points per square inch they need. And then they maybe take inputs on like the coloration of the parents to like, you know, render the skin color and things like that.
Maybe.
So
we'll see.
yeah, we'll see. Maybe the next
or
kid.
we won't see. Depends.
So yeah, this one has been rather textbook pregnancy wise, except that like they say, everything kind of gets worse every pregnancy if you have like not problems, but you have side effects, right? So morning sickness. They're like, okay, well, actually, I guess it doesn't have to be in every pregnancy. But for me, I always get morning sickness, and it seems to have gotten worse and worse every pregnancy. This one, I almost made it to, like, I was well beyond 20 weeks still feeling sick. And then I've had something called restless legs, which is the stupidest, most infuriating thing. And there's, like, way worse problems in the world for pregnant women. But
yeah, but it's a hard one.
Yeah, it basically means your body wakes you up and you cannot go back to sleep because you have to move your legs.
Oh, I know.
And then you've been laying next to me, probably getting restless legs from me.
I get the restless legs, yes, because you're kicking in your sleep.
My twitching.
Yes.
Yeah, and I didn't know that I twitched like that. And maybe I've never done it. This has been rather intense.
It's been intense. Like, I think it's this particular pregnancy has been more on that front.
Yeah.
I don't recall it in the past where you did that. Not like this, where you're like, literally your body is twitching in the night. Yeah.
And it's interesting. So my main mechanism for stopping restless legs easily is you start to cut circulation off to the legs, and it helps. So by you do that by trying to pinch the artery by doing like cat stretch or child's pose or whatever you want to call it, like folding the legs under you. And that works for a while with the pregnancy, but at the belly girth I am at, it's pretty difficult to do.
Yeah, you can't get to the pinch point because the belly's too big.
Yeah, so it's hard to cut the circulation off.
Yeah, and then the baby
comfortably.
Complains.
Yeah, the baby's not happy when I try to do that.
No.
So usually I end up, if it's bad, I have to take a shower for like 5 minutes to, basically it's like a heat application. And then I have to go back to bed and hope to God that I fall asleep in 15 minutes before they come back. And a lot of times I've been stuck in a cycle where I don't fall asleep in that 15 minutes, so the restless legs come back, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, do I take another shower? Like, what do I have to do?
So when I was a teenager, I've told you this before, had a waterbed, and I would play Super Mario Brothers, and the goal was to get through Super Mario Brothers level 1 through 8, beat Bowser, before my feet were numb, because they would dangle over the edge of the waterbed, and it would cut off the circulation. So maybe we just needed to get like a waterbed rail added to the side of your bed, and then you could like hang your feet over while you're like half sleeping, and then they would just fall asleep and then put them back in the bed.
So I've also read, and it's basically the same principle, that putting your legs straight up like against the wall will help, because again, you're like causing the blood to go back.
Yes.
But we don't have a wall nearby, and I have a big pregnant belly that is not very comfortable being on my back. So
yeah, no.
But the last few weeks, it's been better. I'm taking this like huge concoction of vitamins, drinking tons of water. I don't even drink decaf anything at this point, and I don't eat chocolate because chocolate has caffeine in it too and makes. So it's been like Lent since January, mid-January.
Pretty sure you look at chocolate and your legs start twitching.
Yep. So it's I remember, and this is again God. He always like, I can tell he just smiles upon my honoriness. We were newly married. We were watching TV.
Oh, no.
And there was a, like, infomercial about, or maybe it wasn't an infomercial, it was just, like, a regular commercial about restless legs treatments.
Yeah.
And I recall vividly, like, thinking very judgmentally, oh, my gosh, they'll, like, think of anything. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Who has restless legs? Really? You need treatment for your restless legs? I had that thought in my head.
That's what happens to you.
It is. I'm always super prejudiced against something that ends up either happening to me or I end up doing. So it helps my mercy to grow and me to be a little bit more, have more humility and mercy toward others.
Well, we all need that.
Yeah. So I did have restless legs with Christina. I just didn't realize it at the time because I was like, why do I have to get up and take showers all the time in the middle of the night? And I don't think you knew I was doing that. And it wasn't every single night. But as I was getting periodic restless legs, and then by the time Terrence came, I have restless legs ordinarily in not pregnant life too. It's just way more intense when I'm pregnant.
Yeah.
And so by then I knew it was restless legs. But this has been woofda. It's been the most intense it's ever been. So I'm on tons of iron, tons of magnesium, so much water. I go like way above the daily limit, drinking Gatorade in the night sometimes. Yeah. But, pregnancy usually is the cure. So that part is coming very soon.
Yeah.
And I've had all kinds of imagery, and we just did something on Friday that was new for me, but my sister has done twice, evidently, which is a non-stress test for the baby.
Which is kind of ridiculous.
Well, no, I'm happy, actually.
It's a test to make sure that they're not stressed.
Yeah. So they hook you up to the same monitors that they use when you give birth, basically. So there's one monitor that's monitoring for contractions, and there's another monitor that's just monitoring the baby's heart rate. So they had me on my side for like 20 or 25 minutes, and woofda, that was uncomfortable. But the baby's heart is great, and it has great quote unquote like variability, which means baby would move and their heart rate would accelerate because they're moving.
Yes.
And
they're a wiggler.
Yeah, they're a wiggler.
Congratulations, your baby moves a lot, so they're okay.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, I'm happy because
it was good to hear.
Johnny, I've been worried the last, week and a half, baby hasn't been moving as much as it had been. So
yeah, because there's no room.
Yeah, they're
the
big.
Deluxe condo is full, honey. I'm just saying.
I looked at my torso without clothing on it today, and I'm like, oh my gosh, there is definitely a baby in there, like more than a baby in there. It's insane. I had another twins comment yesterday.
I know.
So I just get big. It's crazy. But yeah, I think we're out of room. But I've been worried because of the lack of movement. And so it was nice going through this test because they're like, oh, the heart's perfect. It's wonderful. And the reason I worry is because of why. Why would I worry about a baby's heart rate fluctuating?
Because of Johnny?
Yes.
Because he's your kryptonite?
Well, he is, but this was even before he became my uber kryptonite. So he was born and he had a huge knot in his cord.
Yeah.
A geekable knot.
Yeah.
And I know someone who had a stillborn baby because of a knot in the cord. And it's just really scary that we could have lost him. And so I've been worried with the lack of movement. I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe there's another knot in the cord. And I've asked a couple times at ultrasounds. And
they said we're fine.
Yeah, they said, we could really hunt for one. But even if we found one, like, it's better for baby to stay inside you. Like, it's safer for them.
Yeah.
Even with a knot in their cord. So that's not great to hear. So it was nice hearing that, like, baby's heart rate is good.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just keep drinking orange juice. That's really that's the only thing you can do. You're kind of like Keanu Reeves and Speed. You got to keep the bus above 55, so you got to keep the baby wiggling and moving to make sure that everything's okay.
Well, I mean, if I do notice, like at the end of or in an afternoon, I'm like, I've not felt a lot of kicks. They taught me how to do a movement test, which is basically drinking a glass of orange juice and then laying on your left side, and you should get 5 movements in an hour. So you count until you get to 5, and if it's beyond an hour, then you keep counting and see if you get to 10 in 2 hours, and if not, you go straight to the hospital. Right. So
we're good so far.
Yeah, I didn't have that conversation with any of the other kiddos.
Yeah, but it was this visit was nice because the doctor, the OB, it felt like you actually listened to. Yeah. The previous OB was like, that's nice. Yeah. I don't care if you've had 5 children. You don't know what you're talking about.
Well, technically I've had 4 children.
You're about to have 5. You're closer to 5 than 4 now, honey.
So 2, I'm in the weekly visit stage, which every woman hits, so it's not special to being old. But the 2 OBs ago, I came home, and you had been thinking about going with me, and I was like, oh, it probably isn't needed, and you were doing some bill stuff. And I walked in the door, and then I almost started crying, I think, because I just felt so frustrated. Yes. Because that particular doctor she would not listen to me. And she was really unsympathetic and dismissive of me. And she told me stuff that probably did not even need to be said. But this doctor definitely was different. And I'll see her next Friday, which is nice.
Yes, that is nice. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hoping for not an 8-pound baby.
I mean, all of them have been 8 pounds except for the one who had a knot in his cord.
And it was such an easy delivery in comparison.
I would say Rosalina was the best. She was still over 8 pounds. She's memorably, that's my best delivery.
Okay.
That's the one I want to replicate.
We'll see. We'll see if it, in fact, works that way.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that was because they were back-to-back, though.
I don't know. I think...
Relatively speaking of the other kids. But then again, maybe Terrence and Christina they're pretty close.
Yeah, they weren't as far apart as this one and Jonathan.
Yeah.
Or even John. No, the spacing's all over. We've experimented with every kind of child spacing. That's right. So 5 years is a long time to go between because you start forgetting stuff.
Yeah, I'm realizing that now.
Yeah. Oh, well, I was not ready to have a baby before now. Too much trauma damage from Jonathan. So it's kind of a miracle that we're up for having another one right now.
Well, it just means that you're going to be too busy with this baby for his whining and complaining to actually work.
We'll see.
I think it'll be the case.
I don't know. I'm like worried that Jonathan's still going to be my kryptonite somehow. I think it will be. I mean, it was a traumatic event with him.
I know.
And
I know.
It's just hard.
We'll see.
We'll see. You have hope. I don't have hope.
Okay.
But yeah, we haven't figured out boy or girl, so that's still a surprise. So that'll be a surprise for everyone.
Yeah. So, in theory, if we don't have a podcast next weekend, likely means we have a baby.
Yeah.
Or it just means, crap, there's too much in life, and we can't get to the podcast.
Yeah. Usually we always do unless we're sick.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because we actually enjoy this,
yes, we do.
A very intentional conversation.
Right. We like talking with all of you. It's so much fun.
Yeah. And I like talking to you too.
Well, that's kind of a bonus, right? We get to talk to each other.
Yes. Yeah. That's probably what I like about it most. If you can believe it.
Well, that's good, I guess.
Yes. But yeah, if we're not on next weekend, it's high probability that whatever the doctor's going to try on Friday actually worked and it started labor. Yep. Which would be kind of cool. It'd be a St. Patty's Day baby.
Yeah.
Which would be my grandmother who passed away last year. Her birthday was St. Patty's Day.
Yeah.
So that would be kind of nice.
That would be pretty wild. That does happen. So we'll see.
We'll see.
If the baby has an Irish name, that might be why.
I'm not sure I'm ready to change our name picks. We'll see.
We'll see.
You just got the bashful face on your face.
Well, I can't remember except for the first names, so.
We haven't really talked about middle names.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
I have middle names in mind.
I bet you do.
I'm going to fight for mine.
Okay. Sounds good. We'll get the gloves out and the...
Yeah. I'll keep that secret even from you.
Whatever they call that pregnancy place that we go to after we've delivered the baby. The recovery,
I think.
Room. I don't know.
I can't remember.
It'll be different anyways.
It will be. It always is.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, I don't have anything else to say. I was just like, let's just talk about the pregnancy. And it isn't 40 minutes.
It isn't 40 minutes. We're doing good. We're only at 35.
You just pointed at the screen. I'm like, no.
I know. No, it means we have a good size podcast for everybody to listen to.
Yes.
So, if you have any ideas of what you think the baby is going to be named, then you should drop us a line at catholichitch@gmail.com. I have in my wallet a person from our church who apparently has a 9 out of 10 accuracy of telling the baby gender and weight of the baby. So we're going to see if
how
that's
much
correct.
I'm offended.
Yes, how much you're offended.
12-pound baby!
I don't think he would do that to you.
We'll find out.
We will find out.
That'll be fun.
So we'll let everybody know. But if you've got ideas on the name of the baby, you should drop us a line so that we can see if you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll find something to give someone if they get it.
That sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Maybe, well, I guess we can't send it, can we? I was going to say we could give them a bottle of mead.
We could.
But I don't know if you can send it through the thing. We'll figure it out. Let's say that for now, you get a bottle of vintage mead from our bees.
is dwindling.
Yeah, well, there's still quite a few of those.
Well, there's some from the new batch that we did that wasn't from my bees, but I
Okay.
think that there's not as much from my bees.
Okay.
From 4 years ago, I think it was bottled, or 5 years ago.
It should be very good and mellow by now.
I'm looking forward to that. That's going to be my Easter treat. Sounds some mead.
Indeed. All right. Well, may the Lord guide and direct our journey.
Amen. Yeah, I'm not sure the chirps picked up. Be louder, turkeys.